If you have collection agencies constantly calling you over and over and over again, you need to leverage this one law. What's up, family? I'm back with another one. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. So in today's class, we're going to be talking about what law you can use to stop collection agencies from calling you. Also, we're going to be talking about how to document everything and what to do next after they break the law. So sit back, relax, grab a pen, get some paper, get something to drink. Hey, can we breaking it all down? So life might have happened, right? And collection agencies are blowing up your phone, consistently calling you over and over and over and over again. And yes, whatever the case may be, you couldn't be able to pay whatever bill that you had to pay, and it went to the collection agency. But there are laws that the collection agencies have to follow. And if they don't follow the laws, you can use that in your favor to get the collection completely dismissed and never have to pay that specific collection or account again. So let's talk about the things or the laws that the collection agencies have to follow, because most people don't talk about them. That's why they get away with the things they get away with, okay? If you go to the FDCPA, you can understand this. So if you Google 15 USC 1692, right? That's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. There's a list of laws that was passed by the United States, and there are laws they have to follow. So how can you enforce the laws? How can you do certain things? Now, we're not lawyers, but what we can do is document everything that happened, show how they broke the law. So if you ever have to go to court, or if you need to sue, whatever the case may be, or we're going to be talking all about that, but I'm just showing you which you can leverage, right? So as you can see, 15 USC 1692, okay? And if you scroll a little bit down, right, and you go to this one right here, you'll be able to see the breakdown, all right? But now what we want to do is click on the subchapter, okay? And as you can see, if you look at the subchapter, there are a list of codes, well, specific laws that the collection agencies have to follow, right? These debt collection agencies. Okay, so there's 1692, there's definition, acquisition of location of information, communication in connection with debt collection, harassment or abuse, false or misleading representation, unfair practices, validation of debts, multiple debts, legal action by a debt collector, furnishing certain deceptive forms, civil liability, administrative enforcement, reports to Congress by the Bureau, view of the other federal agencies, relation to state laws, exemption for state regulation, exception for certain bad check enforcement programs operated by private entities. So as you can see, there are a list of things, right? But I'm not going to go over every specific law, but the one I want to talk about is communication and connection with debt collection. So how are they supposed to communicate with you when you have a collection, okay? So these are the requirements they have to follow. Just like there are a list of requirements you have to follow on an everyday basis, right? So here are what the collection agencies have to follow, right? So if you look at this and you go to A, communication with the consumer generally, right? Without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector or the express permission of a court of competent jurisdiction, a debt collector may not communicate with the consumer in connection with collection of any debt, all right, without the prior consent. Whew. All right, so number one, at any unusual time or place, or a time or place known or which should be known to be inconvenient to the consumer in the absence of knowledge of circumstances to the contrary, a debt collector shall, and that's a key word right there, shall. It's like there's no in between. This must happen. This is what is supposed to happen, right? Assume that the convenient time for communicating with a consumer, which is yourself, is after 8 o'clock a.m. and before 9 o'clock p.m. local time at the consumer's location, okay? So here's a specific law. Now, you can read over number 2 and number 3, but what I want to get to is this one right here, ceasing communication, because this law is very powerful. When you read it and understand it, hey, you you'll see what I'm talking about. So, ceasing communication. If a consumer, which is yourself, notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt. So if you notify a debt collector in writing that you refuse to pay a debt, if you let them know over the phone that you refuse to pay a debt, if you text them and say that, hey, I refuse to pay this debt, if you email them back and say, I refuse to pay this debt, if they contact you through social media and you say, I refuse to pay this debt, right? Or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall not communicate further with the respect of such debt, except 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Or 1, 2, 3, right? So you saw how powerful this is. You can notify a debt collector in writing saying that I refuse to pay this debt. I didn't make it up. That's what the law states, right? You could also let them know through a text message if they text you. You could also let them know through a call. Even though it's in writing, there are laws that there are other communications that also works as well. So if they email you and you put this in, and you email them back saying, I refuse to pay this debt. If they call you, you can do the same thing. If they text you, if they send you a message through social media, you can let them know, okay, that you refuse to pay this debt. And guess what is supposed to happen? They have to stop communication except, number 1, to advise the consumer that the debt collector further efforts are being terminated, right? Number 2, to notify the consumer that the debt collector or creditor may invoke specified remedies which are ordinarily invoked by such debt collector or creditor, right? Or number 3, right? You can read over that as well. So I'm just letting you know that, hey, you can leverage those specific laws. Now, what you also want to do is document everything, because documentation beats conversation, right? When you have the documentation, you have the proof. If you need to go to court, if you need to talk to a lawyer, if you need to do any of those things, you have proper documentation showing what you did. So if the case, you need to go to a lawyer, or if you need to talk to, or if you need to go to court, now you have all this and all the things that the debt collectors might have broke the law. So I'm going to show you how to properly document everything and what to do if the collection agency violates after you submit that letter. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about it. So here's the debt collection communication log that you want to have. Okay. You want to have this. This is very important that you have, because like I said before, these collection agencies will violate your rights, and you want to have a way to document how they violated your rights. So it's not like hearsay, whatever. It's all the things you wrote it down, because a judge will believe you once you have a communications log and you have proof, and a lawyer as well. So instructions, right? So write down, track every debt collection communications you receive, whether by letter, phone, text, email, voicemail, etc. Right? Take detailed notes of all communications you have, and or take detailed notes about the the collection communication. See 1, 2 below for examples. Save every collection voicemail, text message, letter, email, social media message, call notes at work, etc. Do not use a call blocker, okay? So here's an example. You want to put the date, right? Date of collection attempt. So write down the date, right? Collection method. Call to my cell phone, or however they communicate with you, right? Telephone number, caller firm, if applicable, right? Caller's name and companies. And then when did, also the details, as you can see. When did the collection agency call you? Did they make any threats? Did they use any profanity? Speak to you in a threatened manner? All this, right? And then you want to basically document everything that happened, right? I received a collection call to my cell phone from XY Collection trying to collect an old Capital One debt. Nancy asked for payment, but I refused and told her that she was not supposed to be calling me. She says she doesn't have a record of cease and desist, and that call will continue. Okay, that's crazy. But as you can see, this is just an example, and you just want to document everything that happens when a collection agency, reaches out to you after you properly document it, or you properly say, hey, I refuse, like you sent the letter in, you sent it certified. And if they call you after you send that letter in, if they text you after you send that letter in, if they email you after you send that letter in, whatever the case may be, any form of communication after you submitted a letter saying that you refuse to pay this debt, that's a violation of the FDCPA, and they're probably broken multiple other laws that we're not going to get into. But I just want to show you what you need to do. So after you properly document everything, there are a few things you can do, right? You can reach out to a consumer lawyer and show them everything that happened, or you can file the complaint with the CFPB, or you can sue them yourself if you know how to do that. But not a lawyer, can't show you all that. Just showing the things that you can do, but you just want to have documentation to leverage in your favor to get that collection aid or that collection off of your report. Now, if you don't want to do this process, if you don't want to, do all this, there's another way to remove a collection without going after the collection agency. And if you want to learn that specific way, step by step, round 1 through round 12, because sometimes it's going to take more than a couple rounds. Hey, watch this video right here, because I'm going to break down the whole entire process to remove every single collection, charge off, bankruptcy, it doesn't matter, off your credit report completely for free. And I'm going to break down the whole entire process. So watch this video right here, and I'll see you over there to knock the credit bureaus out.